Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. We are here, finally. I told you, season is over and it's time we don't lose any time because we'll have to judge Juventus, but also and especially the players individually. We had a lot of excuses this year. The injuries, the new coach, Cristiano Ronaldo leaving, some players that arrive in February. We don't care. We take these excuses and we do total abstraction of it, and we will try to be objective. Not kind, not harsh, but objective. Yes, I know, it is my channel. I will evaluate, I will put them in colors. Red, really bad. Yellow, could do better. They were not a disaster, but they could do better. Green, they were the best. The best of what we had in a season that we know was absolutely far from best. We will do that in that order. Sometimes I will be correct and you will not agree with me. That doesn't mean that I am correct and that you are wrong. It's just an opinion, and that's why I invite you to like the video, of course, to subscribe to the channel, but also to comment, tell me what are the colors that you would have given to the players. Guys, we start immediately after the intro. I will rate everyone player by player. I will not start with chronologically with the colors, but I will do it role by role. And I will also speak about Allegri, and then we will finish with some trophies like the best, the worst, the most disappointment, and so on and so on. Let's start with Szczesny. Szczesny, I start immediately putting him in the green color because he started the season as a disaster, and probably Juventus lost a lot of points because of his individual mistakes. I give him the green because he could have mentally collapsed, but because of Allegri that trusted him, but also Juventus that continued to back him up, he was there, and he, at the end, when we are making a balance, he saved more points than the one that he made us lose in the beginning. He could have collapsed, he didn't. Mentally really strong. Szczesny was really good. He saved a lot of penalties 2 times versus Roma in game-changing moments, because we know it, versus Roma we were winning 1-0, could have been 1-1, and then in that beautiful remontada 4-3, could have been 4-4. Juventus could have lost versus Roma and potentially reopen the 4th spot race. We start immediately with the second goalkeeper, Perin. I give him a yellow of 12 games this season, when we know that Szczesny played 40, he played 12. Sometimes he did some beautiful games, other a real disaster like the Supercoppa versus Inter, where he was not even able to save 1 goal. Good second goalkeeper, absolutely yes, I totally agree. I totally disagree with people who are telling me that Perin should be the number 1. So a yellow for him. We start now with the defenders. Yes, Pinsoglio. Will speak also about some players that didn't play a lot, like Marleache, Pinsoglio, and so on. We start with De Sciglio that played 29 games with Juventus, 1 goal, and what a goal, a beautiful goal versus Roma, that winning goal, 3 assists. I put him in the yellow color. Why? Because he started the season really surprisingly well, especially when he was playing on the left side of the field, playing really well, doing these beautiful assists. Mamma mia, what a De Sciglio that nobody ever saw. He was able to score his 2nd goal of the season with Juve. Again, 29 games for him, not enough for De Sciglio, because a lot of games he also made us lose some points, a lot of one, and this is not okay. Backup, yes, maybe yes. Third choice, maybe yes, but especially not as a starter. The season of De Sciglio, I give him a yellow, not green, not red. Some moments were green, some moments were red, but at the end he finished with a yellow. Chiellini, Giorgio Chiellini, I've put him a green. 26 game. If you are looking at Szczesny played 40, 26 are absolutely not enough. He was in rotation with Bonucci and De Ligt, and that's okay, but the problem is, even if Giorgio Chiellini is now officially not a player of Juventus anymore, the problem is that we couldn't count on him physically. Missing again super important games. I've given him a green color. Why? Because Giorgio the Capitano, every single time he was on the field, he gave everything, doing beautiful tackles, interceptions, giving that Juve DNA, and that's why he deserved a green color. He was absolutely not a disaster when he was playing. De Ligt, and I start telling you that it will probably be a controversial point, and that you will be angry that I give De Ligt a yellow card, a yellow color. Unfortunately, he played one of the most games, 42 games, even more than Szczesny, with 3 beautiful goals. De Ligt a lot of time was a green color, but towards the end of the season he was also decreasing in form. Sometimes he was doing these kind of strange mistakes. He also slept on the goal of Villarreal in Champions League. For me, De Ligt, it was not his best season at Juve, even if he was one of the best players, still not enough. He could have done better. I will say it's a yellow that is tending towards the green, but in certain moments, especially if we are speaking about him being the future captain, he should have done better there. We continue with Danilo. Danilo that I have put a green color. Why? Because of leadership. Unfortunately, also him with 31 games and also a moment where also him was suffering because of an injury. A lot of time his performances were also influenced because of the fact that he was sacrificing and absolutely not ready to play for Juventus. For the sacrifice, for the leadership, especially when we were losing Bonucci and Chiellini, I have to admit that when he was doing his role as a right back, he was doing it defensively really good, scoring also some crucial goals like the one versus Atalanta with 3 assists. Great for Danilo. Green, yes, but I will say that that green is tending toward the yellow more than towards a super green. So Danilo, great, yes, not enough to be the super color or the best of the season. Cuadrado, I've put Cuadrado on the yellow. 45 games for him, one of the players that played most games at Juventus. 5 goals, 7 assists in total. If we know that last season with Pirlo he did 19 assists, that was incredible. A drop from 19 to 7 is not enough. Big drop in performances and sometimes doing also big mistake. Also confused in his head. I don't know. It is really strange for me. It's a yellow, not more than a yellow for Cuadrado. Alexandro, the first red, and it's really surprising that he also has played 40 games with Juventus. 2 goals. Only 2 goals. We were not expecting more, but the red is there. Even if he started the 2-3 first game in a better way than we were used to him in the last season, we were all hoping to see a better Alexandro. After 2-3 games, the magic disappeared and he was again back to his usual last performances. So really bad for me. One of the worst, if not the worst. We will see later when I will give the trophies of the season. Alexandro, a player that hopefully will not be there next season, but I believe that he will finish his contract with Juventus. Let's see. Pellegrini, I give him a yellow. Young player, 23 years old. He played 21 games, 0 assists. Oh no, 1 assist, 0 goals. Even if 1 could have been given to him, but it was cancelled. Remember that goal that he touched Rabiot and so on and so on and so on. Pellegrini in some games did really well in the only 21 games that he played, and there is the problem. Pellegrini had an opportunity fighting with easily a player that could have been on the bench for the rest of the season, Alexandro, that didn't really even receive the trust from Allegri, and he was not able to take his spot. Sometimes because he was not defending enough well, sometimes because he was not attacking enough well. Also a real aggressive character that sometimes we are praising, saying grande DNA Juve, la grinta, but sometimes and a lot of time is also giving him these yellow cards that can put the team in danger. Not enough to be a starter at Juve. Yellow for him. Bonucci, also him, yellow. 34 games, 5 goals, his personal record in Serie A with 3 penalties. A new edition of Bonucci taking the penalties with being super cold, and he's also really great in taking them. So grande, he will be the future captain. Yellow, no super, no disaster. That's Bonucci of the season. The thing is that he will have to increase also and being more mature in sometimes speaking towards the microphone if you want to be really a leader and a captain. Let's see what will happen with Bonucci next season, but this time a yellow, and for the first time, and that's what is worrying me a bit, Bonucci is also the one that for the first time started to have some injuries, something that he never had in the past. So also him starts to be older and older. Rugani, and I know this one will be really controversial. Rugani, I gave him a green with 18 games and 1 goal for Daniele Rugani. I will tell you, for me, Rugani is absolutely not in terms of performances a green player, but is a beautiful surprise. I was absolutely not counting on Daniele, a player that I was not even expecting to play because of Chiellini and Bonucci being that much injured. He played at the end 18 games, and except of a few mistakes like the penalty that he caused versus Villarreal that actually started the 3-0, unfortunately. I have to admit that he played well next to Ligt. He played well, really structure, really okay. Is he a player that I want to see again on the pitch with Juventus? Hopefully not, but if I'm judging objectively, he was a surprise for me this season, and a positive surprise, and that's why I'm giving him green. If you are able to find me, except of that penalty caused versus Villarreal, other mistakes that Daniele did, welcome, I'm welcome to read them, but I'm really curious. Arthur, the second player that I've put in a red color. Why? 31 appearances, 0 goals, 0 assists, disaster. He didn't actually play better than with Pirlo. We were expecting this season that he could have been the midfielder next to Locatelli, pushing actually Locatelli as a box-to-box. He failed. He failed, a player that received some trust from Allegri, but that never was able to convince totally. McKennie, yellow card. Why? Because the start of McKennie with Allegri this season was not the one of the best. He didn't start performing super well, but slowly and surely he started with 4 goals to impress with the goals, but also tactically, where he was actually understanding what Allegri was requesting from him. From that moment, unfortunately, big stop until the last game of the season, where he played a few minutes, 15 minutes, and he disappeared in the moment that we needed him the most. Is it because of him? Absolutely not, but that's why he doesn't receive a green card. Speaking about Bernardeschi, what do I want to say, my friends? The last season of Bernardeschi, and he finished again with a red card. He had numerous occasions to prove us. He scored 2 goals, what he was not able to do in other seasons. 2 goals, 36 games, not enough. We will probably remember Bernardeschi for the missed opportunities, and he received opportunities and chances by a lot of trainers also this time with Allegri, and at a certain moment the start was not bad, it was also promising. He failed totally for Bernardeschi, and it is a big pity. For about Federico Chiesa, the player that we missed probably the most, a yellow for him, even if he scored 4 goals, and the one that I remember the most is the goal versus Chelsea at the 46th minute of that game in Champions League, 1-0 for Juventus. Mamma mia, we missed him a lot. 18 games, some games he was not at his 100%. I couldn't give him a green. I would have loved to see Federico Chiesa all season. He was not there. It is what it is. Yellow for Chiesa, and hopefully we can give him a green next season, because we need a Federico Chiesa with a green card, and from the beginning of the season. Rabiot, I gave Rabiot a yellow because it's true that in from March, April on, and May, April and May, he played better, yes, but it's a yellow that is actually tending to the red, because we can't wait every single season for Rabiot to have actually that month of April, May to start playing as a green. 0 goals for the first time in his Juventus journey, absolutely not acceptable. I'm okay that we can't accept 10 goals from Rabiot, but 0 is absolutely not helping a midfield that would have needed his goals as well. Not enough. If I would have, if I want to see Rabiot next season as well, probably not, especially not for the salary he's earning. And then we speak about Locatelli, a yellow, a better yellow than Rabiot, of course. He was paying the price of playing different position, sometimes box to box on the left or on the right, sometimes as a regista with other roles, covering the other midfielders that were next to him. He played well. We see that he has that Juve DNA, that love for Juve, and he played some really memorable games like the one versus Torino, where he scored one of his 3 total goals with Juve. A great player, a promising player, absolutely yes, not enough to have a green. Maybe also influenced by the partners he had on the left and on the right. It is what it is. Yellow for him. Zakaria, also him a yellow. At the end, he was really promising when he started. He received immediately that small injury that took him away in the moment that we needed him. Without Locatelli, without McKennie, only 13 games with 1 goal, a yellow, but I expect a lot more from Zakaria next season. Vlahovic, I put him in a green. 21 games, 9 goals, they are not a few. 9 goals with Juventus, arriving actually at the end of January, starting in February to play with Juve, are not bad. Was absolutely not served by his partners, so he was missing a lot of assists like the one of Cuadrado, Morata, and so on, but the guy guy is a beast. I want immediately to give him a green color, especially for that grinta and the mentality Juve that he immediately understood and was showing on the field. Morata, I put him a green. It's true that he's our second best goal scorer of Juventus with 12 goals behind Dybala that we will speak about in a moment. A red card, why? Because for the first part of the season where he was totally a ghost, and not only on the field but also off the field mentally, he was already in Barcelona when we needed him. He was not on his position. I defended him a lot, but we have to expect more for the Spanish player. Absolutely not enough. A player that needs to be trusted, a player that disappears for really long periods without scoring goals, without assisting, with bad controls, not able to do a dribble. Yes, it's true, he sacrificed a lot for the team, but not enough for me, especially not to renew him or buy him with 35 million from Atletico Madrid. We go to Dybala, last season of Dybala. Let's see where he will go next season, but I have to give him a yellow. Absolutely not a green. Yes, it's true, he's the one that scored the most goals, 15 with 3 penalties, 6 assists, all of them with the left foot except of a few with the right, especially his last goal versus Genoa. 115 goals in total with Juve. It's a player that was on and off, sometimes able to give you the best, really the best, with some beautiful magic moments, and a lot of times giving you the worst, walking around the field like the last game versus Fiorentina, walking, being absolutely not involved, and sometimes even angry versus the management. Probably a lot of exterior factors were also influencing in head that couldn't make him performing on the field. We are nearly there, my friends. I know it's a longer video. Moisken, another red player, for a player that was able to score only 6 times, 5 times from the beginning, 1 time as a sub. He was absolutely not the super sub that we were expecting. It's a pity, it is like that. 42 times he touched the floor, and that's a lot. Only 6 goals for him, 3 assists. It is what it is for Moiskin. I was really disappointed in him. I was expecting a lot more. Not enough at all. Let's see if we will continue with Juve or not, but he will have to do better if he wants to prove that he's able to be a super sub. And I'm absolutely not speaking about a starter. Miretti, super green for Fabio Miretti. He played 7 times, 4 times the last 4 games as a starter in games that were absolutely not counting anymore. I saw him also live. The guy is a real talent, a real promise. 18 years already playing as a veteran, mamma mia. And now we are at the moment that you were all expecting for. It's Massimiliano Allegri. Before that, just rushing through the names: red for Ramsey, Kulusevski and Bentancur, all of them red, but also Pinsoglio, Caio Jorge, Ake and Ronaldo. I didn't judge them, even if they played at least 1 game with Juve. They were part of it. I didn't judge them. The other ones, the other 3 that I just mentioned, all of them red. We finish with Allegri, and then I will give the trophy and speak also giving a rating to the total Juve. Allegri, I gave him a red, my friends. A red for Allegri. Why? Because in the beginning of the video, if you go back, I spoke about all the excuses. Ronaldo leaving after 1 day, the team that was absolutely mentally not there, the excuses of the injuries, and so on and so on. Every excuse in the world, but at the end, Allegri was brought back to bring some stability, and yes, he did. But also, if we are looking at Allegri, he also was brought back to start bringing again some results. We were far from the best attack in Serie A. We were not the best defense of Serie A. We didn't see any attacking patterns, and that's a big problem. He brought some really great things at Juve, some stability and some foundations to start a better 22-23. I still trust that Allegri can do well, especially with the mercato that is adapted to him. But if I'm judging 21-22, it was absolutely not enough. I am not the hashtag Allegri out, you know that. I trust the coach for next season, but judging this, it was not good. Not good enough for a lot of reasons that we just mentioned. It's a pity. We could have done better if in certain games we were that attentive and waiting. We had a really low defensive block. We didn't have the possession. We were really bad in pass accuracy. A lot of things that he will have to improve, because at the end, he is responsible for the team he's coaching. He accepted a big challenge, and that's good, and I will always respect someone that is taking some big challenges. But on the other hand, if you are failing like you failed this year, it is what it is, and you will have to receive a red color. This is for Massimiliano Massimiliano Allegri. Juventus, I gave Juventus a red color. We lost in the final in Supercoppa. In Coppa Italia, we were out versus Villarreal in Champions League at the round of 16, and we were fourth in Serie A. Not enough, and this is not what we expected at the beginning of the season. Not that we would have won every competition, far from, but what we had in result is not enough. And I finish with the trophies. For me, the best of the season is Szczesny the best, and it's a pity, and it's really strange that you are giving the best trophy to a goalkeeper. That means that the team didn't perform at all. And then we continue with the worst, Alexandro. No surprise, I already spoke about him. The biggest disappointment trophy goes to Moiskin. I was expecting more from him, not to replace Cristiano Ronaldo, but more, and he didn't accept the challenge. It is what it is. The biggest surprise trophy goes to Rugani. Again, I explained it. I was not expecting to see him on the field, except of a few minutes. He played 18 games, a lot as a starter, and I was actually surprised to see him performing good next to Ligt. The biggest promised trophy goes to Miretti. Hopefully we can keep him because he can be a real talent. I don't know who will have to sacrifice. Will it be Rabiot, McKennie? Will it be Fagioli, Rovella? I don't care, but I hope that Miretti, we can have him in the first team. And I finish with Juventus. No, I already gave Juventus a red, not enough. So this was actually my ratings for 21-22, a season that I don't want to forget, because forgetting a season like that, the mistake that you can make is that you will do it again because you forgot. Don't forget, remember, and hopefully we can have a lot more green players in 22-23, especially Juventus as a whole, because giving a red to Juventus is not okay. Let me know. I want a maximum, but respectful. I don't want to hear this kind of hashtag out or clown or whatever. Respectful ratings behind in the comment. Let me know. I will read them. I'm really curious about what you are thinking. Grazie, forza, Juve.